Hey everyone, so I am apologizing for our absence lately. After David's surgery, things kind of just got a little hectic. Kids got sick, and we had to deal with hand, foot, and mouth disease, and it's just been very, very hectic, and I haven't had the chance to get on here and do much. And then today I decided I was going to start everything back up again, and now David has hives all over him, and so we're probably going to be taking him to a clinic today. I was babysitting my brother. He's 12, while I'm house sitting for a friend up in Arkansas, so I'm near my parents right now, and they just woke up and he had hives everywhere, so we're having to deal with that. But just so that we have a little bit of a recap, I'm wanting to do 2 times a week, once a week, something like that, videos, just kind of going over what I'm learning in school. I'm getting my bachelor's degree for early childhood development, and because this segment is mainly about kids and about my children and about how children develop and everything like that, I think it would be really great if I was able to talk about what I'm learning and see what your guys' views on it are. Like right now we're talking about abuse and neglect, the different kinds there are. There's abuse, physical abuse, there is sexual abuse, and emotional abuse, all sorts of stuff. Wow, good job. Oh, cool. And I think a lot of people these days have dealt with that as children. It's just such a common thing nowadays, and it's actually quite sad how common it is. And we were talking about some statistics in class, and in my reading it said, that the statistics for children that are abused are higher in like teen mothers. The children are more at risk of being neglected, abused, all sorts of stuff, because lots of times teen mothers end up not being there as much for their kids. They leave their children with people that they think are safe, but because they're teen mothers, their judgment isn't all that great. And I'm not dissing any teen mothers, because I was a teen mother. When I found out I was pregnant, I went and got a lot of I went to a lot of mothering classes and stuff like that, because I was really afraid that I was going to be one of those statistics. And it really worked for me, but some mothers they don't grow up as fast. And then other statistics were that if you were in poverty, you had a higher chance of your children being abused or neglected, which is very true, because the stress of not having a lot of money can make people get angry, and then crying and stuff can make them just get too angry and not deal with it in a proper way. And again, I'm not dissing anyone that is in poverty, because me and my husband are. He finally just got a job. It's been 8 months of no work, and he finally just got a job with our church, and he's doing janitor work. It's not great money, but it's something. So it really just kind of depends on how people channel their anger, and who they decide to leave their children with, and what kind of things they're doing in their life at that time. Right now, I know that I think a lot of parents, for our age group, didn't really teach children how to channel their anger. And I'm having to work on that with my son right now, because I notice that he gets angry and automatically goes to violence. And whenever you yell at your child for that, or you just get on to them and don't talk to them, a lot of times they will use that and they'll just get angry. As soon as they're angry, they just blow up. And that's not the proper way to do things. I find that if you talk to them about how to calm down, what they need to do to calm down, it works so much better. My son, we did a couple different things, taught him a couple different ways, because sometimes, he's on the mood to count to 10, other days he's on the mood to, do ABCs. So we found a couple different ways. I was actually told that, blowing bubbles is a great way to help children relieve stress. So if they're really stressed out about something, if, the dad has to leave for a trip or something, and isn't going to be around and they're really stressed out, blowing bubbles is a good way to make them breathe, because they have to breathe in and blow out. And so, when my kids are being bad and I have to get onto them, I don't want to reward them with bubbles. So we taught them how to play pretend bubbles. And whenever they get stressed out, I can be like, okay, how about use a calm down technique? Let's blow some bubbles. And we pretend to blow bubbles, and they are still breathing in and out, and it gets them to calm down. And then you're able to talk to them. And when you're able to talk to them, they'll listen better. If they're screaming and crying, they are not listening. No matter how much you think that they are listening and they hear you, they probably don't. They are just all over the place. And then they don't understand why they're being punished. And, you have to let them know that, because children aren't adults. They are kids. And the sooner you understand that, the quicker it's going to be to discipline your children where they understand, and all children are different. I do believe in spanking your children, okay? Not abusing them, not hitting them, not to the point where they're getting bruises, but children are all different too. I know my middle child responds way better to getting a little pat on the butt. He's very emotional. If you do that, it kind of breaks his heart a little bit. And that's what is working, is the fact that he feels like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I did that, and now mom's disappointed in me, But with my older one, David, spankings do not work. Timeouts don't even work that well. The only thing that works with him is if we ground the things that he likes. He really responds to that. So we have a little board at home that we have put up, and it says, things that I am grounded from. So if he hits his brother, we'll ground him from his favorite toy, Legos. If he throws a fit, we'll take away his TV time, TV privileges. That is what really, really gets to him. And, so you really have to just kind of get to know your child. Try different techniques, see what works, but don't just try them for like a few days and decide they don't work, because children are going to test you. You need to try for like a month straight of one thing. And it may sort of start working. And if it doesn't start working after like 3 weeks to 4 weeks, try something else, You really just have to really get to know your child, and that's how you're going to, get the right technique down. And then another thing that you can do with your children, is, you really need to make sure the communication is open. Let them talk. Whenever they do something, instead of getting onto them and everything, you need to ask them why they did it. Because if they feel like you're listening to them, they're going to listen to you better. I'm not saying to coddle your children. They don't need coddling, because that's going to cause them to be extremely, hard-headed and think they're going to get away with just about anything. You need to be firm with them and let them understand that you are the parent. But you still need to let them understand that you hear what they're saying. Okay, children are going to be more angry and more upset if they don't feel like you're listening to them, but you expect them to listen to you. Which brings me back to the whole abuse thing. If parents back whenever we were children, the spanking thing was just, I remember when I was a kid, if I did something bad, I didn't have a say. I didn't get to tell them what happened. No one believed me. I would just get a spanking. There was no communication. And I noticed when I got angry, I just would blow up. There was no in between. I didn't know how to channel my anger, and it took a long time. And even in the beginning, whenever I first became a parent to my first son, there was no in between. I would just get really mad at him, and that has had to change. And now I'm noticing a tremendous difference in the way he acts, in the way, his manners are better. He is more honest with me. When he does something wrong, he tells me straight up, because he knows I'm going to listen, and he knows that I'm going to appreciate the fact that he told me the truth instead of lying. And whenever they are more afraid, they're going to lie. And whenever they're older and they're lying, that's just going to get them in even more trouble. And when you have an open communication, there's so much less chance of you getting extremely angry and mad and taking your anger out on them. So those are the statistics. The statistics actually show that it doesn't matter what race you are, whether you're a male or female or anything. It does not matter what your child is. What background you're from or anything. It doesn't matter. All children are equally abused, which is really sad. You hear on the news all sorts of stuff, and it's really sad. And we could break that cycle. We could put our foot down, and we could do the right way of talking to our children and everything, and get them to understand how to calm down, so that the next set of children that grow up and have kids will know how to channel their anger, and there won't be as much abuse. It's up to us as parents. And just because we're a statistic does not mean that we have to be the statistic. So, really just talk to your children. We could be the greatest parents and, be in poverty and be teen mothers, let's not let the world define who we are because we're a statistic. So that is what I have to say today. Please subscribe. I love my subscribers, and I will try to keep everyone updated. Thank you.